PetMed TV brings you the top veterinarians to discuss product information and health tips critical to the health and wellness of your pets. Today we're talking about the revolutionary benefits of CBD. On today's show, you're going to meet Dr. Danny McVety, one of the leading veterinarians in the country, and you're going to learn all about the amazing benefits of CBD, the natural way to help your pets live longer and feel better.
The other thing I've noticed using the CBD treats is that these guys are acting much more youthful and spunky. They kind of have their puppy energy back, and it's just wonderful.
You know, at 18 years old, a dog, good days and bad days, and it's made a lot more good days for him.
I am so happy that I have found PetMed Lab CBD products. It has really kept Clancy much calmer on his walks. I'm just really a happy camper, and so is he.
She actually loves the treats. It's like a special time, a special moment when she gets her CBD treat, isn't it, right? I know.
I know.
Sweetheart.
Does your dog suffer from stress and anxiety? Does your dog have stiffness in joints and difficulty with mobility? Does your dog have seizures or epilepsy? Does your dog have cancer and tumors? Does your dog suffer from digestive issues and nausea? Is your dog aging and having difficulties with growing older? Does your dog suffer from pain and inflammation? Does your dog have problems with skin allergies? If your dog is suffering from any of these conditions, sicknesses, or ailments, stay tuned to PetMed TV to learn about a new breakthrough product that will help with all of these conditions.
We are here with Dr. Danny McVety. She's the creator of Lap of Love, which is the nation's leader in end-of-life care for pets and pet hospice. Not only that, but Danny, you were voted the pet industry's Woman of the Year last year. That is so impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We love our pets so much, and I know one thing that most of us feel is that they just never live as long as we want them to. Why does it seem like, dogs have such shorter lives, or why they age so quickly?
It's their one flaw, right? Their one flaw is that they don't live as long as we do. And to really get down to the science of it, we'd have to be talking about the genetics of aging. But we know that smaller dogs are going to live a little bit longer. The larger dogs tend to age a little bit faster, but of course that's very species different.
One of the other classes of conditions that the PetMed Lab CBD treats and CBD products are excellent for is pain and inflammation. And I know that sounds like a pretty broad category, but what exactly is pain and inflammation, and why are they so closely linked?
It is a very, very broad term and a very broad class of conditions that it can help with. But pain, we know, is very, it's very broad, right? There's the pain of maybe even just your skin being scraped, and then the pain of just not feeling well, and then there's the pain of maybe anxiety also. But really that internal interpretation that the body has that something's not right. And then therefore causing some type of negative feeling, or what we call nociception in medicine. That's really what pain is in the body.
And why do people talk about inflammation so much? When people, humans will take things like ibuprofen or do something like if they hurt themselves, they'll ice themselves. Is that because of inflammation and they want to reduce that?
Yeah, it is. So if we can reduce inflammation, then we believe that we can, in many cases, reduce the pain associated with it. So inflammatory cells will come in, have inflammatory markers that will then click onto the neurons and then tell the brain that something's wrong. But sometimes if we can stop the inflammation that happens from either a disease or from an injury, that can in turn reduce the amount of pain receptors and pain signals that are going to the brain in the first place.
So when I think inflammation, obviously, you're thinking that something is swelling in size. Is that the right idea? And so this can happen in our animals? How would animals experience inflammation?
Yeah, absolutely, in many different ways. And so when we see inflammation on the outside, that is obviously because cells have flooded in the area, and then so many cells have flooded in that we cause a little bit of a bulging of the skin, if you will. But that can also happen internally. It can happen in our internal organs, it can happen on our skin, and that can show up in many different ways.
I love the idea that we can look at something like pain or inflammation, which is just the most basic of something that you were saying could be bothering your dog, and say, I'm not going to go get a bunch of blood tests done and see if my dog is capable of this or that. Let me start with the alternative medicine instead as the first line of defense medicine and try something like the PetMed Labs CBD products instead of jumping right to, I think, what you called the last part of the game, right? You said we usually jump to the very end part of the game and go right to the major types of drugs as opposed to starting with something so simple and so natural.
No, you're exactly right. And starting with something like the PetMed Labs CBD products, it makes the transition very easy. And it does make us and really empower the owner to give something that's safe, that's non-toxic, that's completely pure, that's not going to cause any harm, and allow them to treat some of these tiny little underlying conditions before they get too bad. And of course, then know when the right opportunity is to then go to the regular veterinarian and say, this hasn't worked, now let's try something else.
If you are living a healthy, active life with your dog, you will eventually, it's not if you have mild trauma, there's probably going to be some bumps along your energy-filled, happy life with your dog. Dogs can tear their cruciates, dogs can have sprains, dogs can slip, trip, and fall. Dogs can end up with trauma that requires pet parents to think, my gosh, my dog is injured, what can I do to help provide some comfort or relief? The very safest option you have for pain management throughout a dog's life is CBD-derived products.
As a naturopath, I know it's very important to have natural ingredients. You know, the body does not like synthetic or these cheap fillers. The body has a hard time processing that. And the same thing goes for our pets. I love that PetMed Labs CBD product is now available for my dogs.
Until now, your few options included strong drugs with horrible side effects, or the sad acceptance that your beloved pet was slowing down, getting older, and not enjoying life as they did in their prime. But now, your dog can regain the energy, the vitality, and the pain-free mobility that can add years to their life and life to their years. For the first time ever, PetMed Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. PetMed CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of PetMed Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our PetMed Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. But we know once you see the life-enhancing benefits of PetMed CBD treats, you'll be sure to order more. And remember to ask your customer satisfaction specialist about special discounts on enhanced versions of our CBD treats, created specifically for senior dogs and those needing additional support for their sore and aching joints. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. PetMed Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of PetMed Labs CBD treats right now.
There's one more thing I know that happens with dogs, especially as they get older, and that's that sometimes their digestive system isn't working quite up to par.
The digestive tract can change. You know, just like the rest of our body can age, so can the gut. So even giving a supplement like this, the Senior Canine CBD treats, it really helps maintain that homeostasis and the gut movement that, that helps digest food, move it along the tract properly, and then absorb the nutrients as well.
How do PetMed Labs CBD treats affect not just the nausea, but also the other parts of your gastrointestinal system? What's happening within their body as CBD is taking effect?
We know that the ECS, or the endocannabinoid system, is within all systems of the body, including the gut system. So there are receptors within the gastrointestinal tract that, when supplemented properly, actually supports the digestive process that a pet is normally going through. So it helps support gut transit, which means that the body is digesting food and moving that food along and absorbing that food properly within the body.
If you give something like this to a dog just to help with its GI tract, you're really just kind of giving a little bit of almost like a multivitamin, if you will, but without it being a vitamin, because you're activating those systems within the dog.
As a veterinarian, I actually look at CBD treatment more as a hormone therapy rather than even a vitamin, because it does affect a very specific system within the body. And we tend to think that vitamins are just something that we can take or not take, which is true with the CBD treatments as well. But when we have something that's so specific and so powerful in the way that we're providing it to the pet, it works in a more powerful way than we tend to think just vitamins may work.
I really like the CBD products, and they're natural, they're organic, and even my vet says they're really good for older dogs because they don't have the same kind of side effects that the usual medications are that they give to older dogs. So, and they've tolerated them beautifully. Their symptoms have pretty much evaporated, and I'm just thrilled with them. The other thing I've noticed using the CBD treats is that these guys are acting much more youthful and spunky. They kind of have their puppy energy back, and it's just wonderful.
This is bringing me to what our next category I would like to talk about which is skin and allergies.
Yeah.
Because I think when we talk about diet and the nausea of a dog and even the stress of a dog, a lot of times it will exhibit itself on the skin of a dog. When you have an animal, comes into one of your offices and they'll have a problem with their skin, you may think, is it an allergy? Are they licking it? I mean, it's hard to discern, yeah?
Yep, yeah, absolutely. And I'm from Florida, so dermatology is, one of the practice builders, we like to joke. But it's also very, very frustrating for us as doctors to treat, because the skin is the largest organ that we have. So there's so many different things that can affect it, whether it's external, something like someone changing their laundry detergent could affect their dog. Or if it's environmental, the dog walking through a lawn that has just been treated. Or even something internal, like the type of food that they're taking, which is why PetMed Labs' very pure source of protein has been such an important part of actually getting the right medicine, the right delivery of this to the pets.
I read a lot about CBD online and how it can impact dogs, and I had no idea how effective it could be.
He's getting in and out of the car a little easier, in and out of the doggy door a little easier, and I really love that the CBD is natural. I only give him natural products.
And I love that I now have a wonderful CBD product that can help my little dogs.
One thing that is very difficult to see is also what's happening within a dog's mind. And one of the scariest things for a pet owner can be seizures and epilepsy.
Right.
And this is something where, if you've ever seen this happen, I'm sure you have, it's very frightening for a pet owner.
It's one of the things that we talk to pet parents about when they do have any type of canine dysfunction or even brain tumors, something that we see a lot within hospice care. And I always tell them, I explain the fact that seizures are not painful for the pet. We know this even in human medicine. The seizure is not painful for the being going through it, but who's the seizure painful for?
The person watching.
The person watching. That's the most important part of this. So if we can mitigate, the seizures, if we can bring that level down a little bit, if we can calm the mind enough to not short out, which is essentially what a seizure can be, it really makes the entire quality of life for both the pet and the pet parent so much better.
So then we cannot stress enough how important the CBD factor of the PetMed Labs treats is when we're talking about seizures and epilepsy.
It is. It's the one thing that we know right now, but there's so many studies that need to be done for us to fully comprehend. But the one thing that we do know is that many times the only other option that we have is a barbiturate. That's the only other option we have to treat seizures or epilepsy. So to have something that is so much more gentle on the entire system and not something that we have to continue to have the pet parents come back to the clinic to actually run blood tests for. So when you're on barbiturates, those pets have to come back to the clinic to make sure that we have the right levels at the right time, and that we're actually decreasing the seizure activity and that the rest of the organs are functioning properly.
So you're saying if you have a dog that suffers from seizures or epilepsy or both, that not only are you going in more often to the vet and spending more money and more time and putting your dog through a stressful situation because you have to keep getting tests to get the medication that's a barbiturate that may not even be as effective at treating the epilepsy as the CBD in these Pet Med Labs treats.
Yes, and making sure that the body is healthy enough to continue that treatment. When if we have a healthy treatment to begin with, then we don't have those negative effects. And then as a medical profession, we're not worried about the pet continuing with that treatment.
For the first time ever, Pet Med Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. Pet Med CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of Pet Med Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our Pet Med Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. Pet Med Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of Pet Med Labs CBD treats right now.
We've talked about how Pet Med Labs uses the highest grade, safest, most pure CBD that you can find, made from hemp, no THC, just really, really great ingredients for your dogs. I want to know, how do you give it to your dog? How do you administer it? What does Pet Med Labs use?
One of the most used products is the treat. Right, it's fun to give, it maintains that bond, and it keeps the pet going from underneath of the couch when they want to give, medications. But the edible treat is one of the most common products that we have. There's a couple more as well.
So tell me what makes Pet Med Labs treats so much better than maybe your brand name or your store-bought treats?
Well, the first and most important thing is that it is veterinarian formulated. So veterinary formulated, completely pure, gluten-free, grain-free, preservative-free, filler-free, all those things we know pets can react to.
So you say we know, but maybe not everyone does know. Gluten-free, grain-free, I hear that a lot in human diets, but that's not good for pets?
Well, it depends on the individual, of course. But one of the things that we wanted to do when formulating this product is make it very, very pure so that no matter what problems the pet currently has, we can at least give it safely.
Do you find grains in lots of dog treats?
There are a lot of fillers. There are a lot of things that shouldn't be there. And yes, dogs maybe wouldn't eat a corn off of a cob, but in the wild environment, a carnivore would eat the contents of an herbivore's stomach. So that's a very common thing for them to do. So grains aren't terrible. It's just the way that they're delivered. But if you pick up any bag of dog food, any treat on the market, you'll see the list of ingredients that are there, and half of them you can't even pronounce. Half of them I can't even pronounce, even with the training of it. But to be able to pick a product up and for it to only have pure ingredients, 100% beef products and 100% cannabinoid, full spectrum phytocannabinoid products, it's as good as it can get.
So you just said 2 ingredients. Is that it? That's all that's in the treats?
That's it.
So when we're saying that we don't want the grains, the fillers, the words we can't pronounce, you're saying we have just the CBD, which is what we're looking for. And what kind of quality grade of beef liver are we talking about?
Well, the best kind, the human kind. The ones that we would eat, right? The human grade beef liver, that's it.
So you have a USDA stamp, which means someone has said this is human grade beef liver.
Yes.
And that's what Pet Med Labs is using with the CBDs for their treats. That is their CBD treats, their go-to product.
Correct. The government has said it's good enough for you and I, and we're saying, well, gosh, it is probably good enough for Fluffy then.
Beef is a very safe treat no matter what.
It's safe. And what's important to understand too about this product is that there's only one protein source, so single source protein. When a pet does become allergic to their food, one of the first things that we change is the protein source. So if the food is chicken and rice, we're going to change from chicken to beef. So that's the most important thing that we actually change when a pet becomes allergic to the food that they're on. So this isn't multiple sources of protein. There's only one source of protein in this product.
It's just the CBD and the beef liver, and that is the Pet Med Labs CBD treats.
Yes.
The go-to, the bread and butter of it all, without any bread or any butter.
As a practicing veterinarian and also as a pet food formulator, I will tell you that one of the most difficult things to find is treat and food companies that are sourced in the US. That means all the raw materials going into those foods and treats come from the United States or North America. Really difficult to find. Also difficult to find is human grade raw materials. So what many people don't know is what goes into pet food and most pet treats are feed grade or animal grade raw materials, which are rendered and not approved for human consumption. The best advice I can give pet parents for making great decisions about everything they put into their dog's mouths is to make sure that your foods and treats are manufactured in the US, made with US raw materials, and are human grade. The second word of advice I would recommend for all pet parents is to make sure that the treats and foods that you are buying and feeding to your pets are species appropriate. Species appropriate means that dogs are carnivores, and although the pet food industry would like to tell you that it's fine that we can create vegan dogs, what we know is that a dog's natural physiology is best wired for species appropriate foods, which means meat-based treats. So my advice when you're looking for treats on the market is you flip over the bag and it needs to have no more than 3 ingredients, but preferably 1. We call those single ingredient treats. So if you're looking for the best way to nourish your pet when it comes to either buying treats or foods, the more USDA inspected human grade meat that can be on the label, the less corn, wheat, rice, soy, tapioca, all of those extra fillers are unnecessary for dogs and oftentimes create some of the health conditions that we're all trying to avoid. So the best words of wisdom I can offer pet parents is to look for meat-based human grade treats that are made right here in the USA.
So what is pure CBD, and how do you know that you're finding it when you go to purchase something for your pet?
Yeah, it's very interesting because we can sit here and talk about CBDs all day long, but is the product that you're actually giving your pet a pure form? And particularly in the past decade, we've seen so many products on the market, both in human and then the non-human realm. So just even me particularly, one of the reasons that I'm here is because I know that the source of this CBD product is one of the most respected in the veterinary industry. So I feel so comfortable about what is actually being put into this medicine, and that's why I give it to my own dog too.
So we know it's well respected. We know that vets stand behind it, and the Pet Med Labs CBD formula is pure, which you said is, of course, even more safe because we already know we're working with something that is virtually harmless. It really is.
No, absolutely, and it is just CBD. There's no THC in it because something that we fail to kind of remember is that dogs aren't small humans. You know, it's not the same. Cats even aren't small dogs. So we, as veterinarians, we need to treat each species very specifically. And animals are much more sensitive to THC than humans. So it's even more important for us when we're looking at this product to make sure that there is none in this, in Pet Med's lab product. And that's, of course, again, one of the reasons why I feel so strongly about it.
And you don't just want to go and buy it from anywhere because you don't know if this is being created and, as purely and as safely as possible. And with Pet Med Labs, you are going to get pure CBD oil, safe, no THC, with all of these wonderful benefits you mentioned. So we're talking about a full spectrum, very highly concentrated cannabinoid that comes from hemp with no THC. And why is it so important to have something that is so pure and made so well, especially when giving it to an animal?
There are a lot of fillers that can get put into medicine, and there are a lot of ways that we can almost dilute the products that we're giving to our pets. So to have something that's completely, like we said, full spectrum, very isolated, very, very pure in its form. And again, like we said, coming from hemp, not with the THC, that allows us to give the safest products that we can to our pets.
I came up with a recipe for these treats when my daughter, a brand new vet, starting her new veterinary career said, Mom, I need a healthy treat. I'm an alternative doctor and there are no healthy treats on the market. There's nothing out there. And I have to have a healthy treat. That means no grains, Mom. So I went to work trying to make a treat. She said, I don't think it can be done, because if it could be done, it would have been done by now. So she said, Mom, start with the old biblical grains. Well, I did, and they didn't work. Thank God they didn't work. So I went back to the drawing board, and in 9 months, ultimately came up with the treats that we have now. It's a single ingredient beef liver treat, pure, healthy, all meat treat for dogs. And that's the backstory. That's how it happened. And they worked. They worked beautifully.
The other thing I've noticed using the CBD treats is that these guys are acting much more youthful and spunky. They kind of have their puppy energy back, and it's just wonderful.
You know, at 18 years old, a dog, good days and bad days, and it's made a lot more good days for him.
I am so happy that I have found Pet Med Labs CBD products. It has really kept Clancy much calmer on his walks. I'm just really a happy camper, and so is he.
She actually loves the treats. It's like a special time. It's a special moment when she gets her CBD treat, isn't it, right? I know.
I know.
Sweetheart.
Until now, your few options included strong drugs with horrible side effects, or the sad acceptance that your beloved pet was slowing down, getting older, and not enjoying life as they did in their prime. But now, your dog can regain the energy, the vitality, and the pain-free mobility that can add years to their life and life to their years. For the first time ever, Pet Med Labs is making their CBD treats available to everyone through this incredible introductory offer. Pet Med CBD treats normally sell for $40, which is a great deal for the life-changing benefits they can provide. But today, you won't pay $40. You won't even pay $30. Be one of the first 500 to call or go online today and pay only $19.95 for your first order of Pet Med Labs CBD treats. But there's more. With your order, you'll receive a bottle of our Pet Med Labs Appetite Flakes as our free gift to you. If your dog has a poor appetite or is just a finicky eater, our Appetite Flakes can turn any food into a delicious gourmet meal they won't be able to resist. Altogether, that's a $40 total savings off your first order, but only when you're one of the first 500 callers today. Plus, when you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll also ship your entire order absolutely free. This is a one-time purchase. There are no clubs to join, commitments to make, or required monthly shipments. But we know once you see the life-enhancing benefits of Pet Med CBD treats, you'll be sure to order more. And remember to ask your customer satisfaction specialist about special discounts on enhanced versions of our CBD treats, created specifically for senior dogs and those needing additional support for their sore and aching joints. So take advantage of this limited TV offer. Dial the number on the screen or go to PetMedLabs.com right now. Pet Med Lab products are not available in any stores and are only available through this special television offer. Don't wait. Every day you delay is another day your dog isn't living their life to its fullest. Call for your own discounted supply of Pet Med Labs CBD treats right now.